Now, when we were planning this program, we were talking in the office about what we'd be concentrating on at the show, what would be interesting, what would be new, some of the surprises we were trying to predict. Nobody had any inclination at all about this thing behind us. David Farquhar, you're from Suzuki, the C2. I mean, what a surprise. Tell us all about it.
It's our new sports car, Mike. It's the successor to the Cappuccino, which we had about 2 years ago in the UK in very limited quantities. It's quite revolutionary because it's powered by a 1.6 litre V8 engine.
Hang on, let's get this right. 1.6 litre V8?
V8.
I didn't think there was such a thing, actually, in this world.
There's never been an engine, as far as we know, quite like it. It's the smallest V8 ever. The advantages are, of course, immensely smooth power and a hell of a lot of it, probably about 170 to 180 brake horsepower.
I mean, it's difficult to... When I first looked at it, I actually thought it was very small, Cappuccino size, but the more you look at it, the more you realise this is more MGF, Mazda MX-5 proportions, perhaps even BMW Z3.
It's touching on that sort of territory, Mike, yes.
And the difference is it has a V8 engine as standard. What are we saying about price at this stage? I mean, I know we can't... This is only a concept car, let's make that clear. The actual production version will be modified. The production version won't have probably the leather wheel arch. It's another first, I think, in automotive history. But I mean, give us...
You'll be able to buy those as an accessory, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will, knowing Suzuki. But I mean, what sort of price guideline can you give us about this car when it goes on sale in Britain next year, probably?
Well, obviously, we're not going to launch a car that isn't competitive, so it's got to be competitive in price. You've mentioned the MX-5, you mentioned the MGF. It'll be very competitive as far as those are concerned. We would hope to pursue our usual policy of offering great value for money and bring it in quite substantially below the prices of both of those cars.
Well, we're joined by an old friend of Men and Motors, as somebody very considerately walks just right past us and blocks the view of the car. We're of course joined by Paul Williams from Daihatsu, the managing director. In fact, you've done it again, Paul, another small car.
Yeah, another small car. I'm very excited about the prospects for this car, Mike. I think we're fast becoming synonymous with small cars. With the addition of this car, it'll give us like a very full lineup. In fact, if you're looking for something for less than 13 feet, we've got lots and lots of alternatives now.
There's not a danger you've got too many cars competing in the same sector, that you're competing with yourself almost?
Potentially that is a danger. The key for us is to be able to market those products properly and position them properly. We've got the Move, which is is weird and wonderful and wacky. That's going to appeal to certain people. We've got the Kaori, which is like economy motoring. Yeah? We've got the Grand Move, which is an MPV. This car that we're looking at today is more like a little limo. Yeah? And that's going to be for people who are looking for a small car but looking for something slightly different. So the important thing for us is to be able to position the cars. But if we get it wrong, it is potentially a problem. But as I say, Daihatsu is now becoming known for small cars. If we get that right, I'm sure we can be successful with it.
When will we be seeing it?
I would expect to see this car in the UK, and on the assumption that we may have in August or we may not, depending on what happens, that this car will be available for sale next year, just before August.
Confused? You will be. We're with Mitsubishi, the Japanese company, and they're building a vehicle called the L200 pickup truck in Thailand, not Japan. And just to confuse things further, we have here a concept version which is built in America. But the version that you'll be seeing in the UK will be available in 2 levels. Will look a bit tamer than this, sadly. There'll be one version for the farmers, if you like, and builders, the sort of utility vehicle. Another one higher spec for families, street warriors, anyone else who's interested in a pickup truck. I know it sounds like a crazy idea, pickup truck in Great Britain, but these double cabs that are available on these trucks now mean that you can actually run them as family cars. You can put 4 people in the vehicle, you've got a nice passenger car when you need it, you've got a load lugger when you need it as well. And I think we're going to be seeing an awful lot of activity in this area. Well, Mitsubishi are having a pretty busy time here, which is pretty amazing, because I would have thought they'd save all this stuff up for the Tokyo show next month, but this is yet another world debut, the Mitsubishi Technas. Now, this is just another concept car. It won't be going on sale. It's, you could say, a cynical attempt to bring people to their stand to get publicity for Mitsubishi. And normally, I wouldn't be reading too much into this vehicle. But, and this is a big but, the very, very popular Mitsubishi Shogun is up for replacement soon. And even the company themselves are saying that when you look at this car here, you can get an idea about what the future Shogun will look like by the Technas. So here it is, make your own mind up. This is the HSR6, the highly sophisticated transport research vehicle. And I think it's going to go the same way as HSR5, HSR4, HSR3, HSR2 and HSR1. In other words, it's all very clever, gets a lot of people on their stand, but it's not terribly relevant. You will not be seeing this car or anything like it in a showroom near you, which is a shame. Now I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely right. This is a car launched in 1997 that looks like it could have been launched in 1992, quite frankly. It's the new Mazda 626 estate. 10 out of 10 for hype, but I've got to say,